So I follow a lot of people online, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and I've essentially kind of gone through everything to understand here's what no one is talking about when it comes down to scaling Facebook ads in 2025. So a lot of things that I see online, they're talking about things like ABO versus CBO, cost caps versus bid caps. And again, like nothing wrong, like if you use these things and stuff like that. But it just kind of really reminds me back in 2020 when I was in that situation right there, where like if we look at like an 8-hour day, from morning to night, I was literally going ahead and spending almost a full day like that inside the ad account. And then I was spending like this much on the things that we're gonna be talking about today that actually scales things. So a couple other things I see people talk about, I think over the course of this as well, is literally things like, single ad sets versus like loaded ad sets, how they tested creative and stuff like that. Some people will actually talk about video versus photo, like all of this. But today we're gonna be talking about what actually scales an ad account that I don't see anyone talking about, and how you literally turn your day from this up here to back down here, where we're gonna be talking about spending the whole day on scaling and then spend this much time ad account and all of this time scaling, because that's what we want. This is how we hit 30K. I don't know what I'm writing. 30K days. Boom. Okay. So let's just kind of dive into this. The very first thing that you want to look at when you're scaling is minimizing ad account. Okay. And let's specifically say minimizing time inside of ad account. This is why we do what's called consolidation, and then leaving it to the algo, right? And then it's also why we do CBO campaigns, okay? If we consolidate the ad account, we're only leveraging one campaign per business objective. We're leveraging the algorithm to do the work for us. And then we do a CBO, which again, just people overcomplicating it. CBO for me just means that at the campaign level is where the budget is set at. Now it's called advantage campaign optimization, I think it's called, or budget optimization, which would still technically mean like ABO, but it's not ABO anymore. It's actually CBO. Look, the budget's set at the fucking campaign level. That's all that matters, okay? But yeah, so we do that. That's number one. This way, the only thing we're doing inside the ad account now is adding ads in and then turning off things, plus budget. As in, like, some days we'll adjust the budget up or down. Some days we'll literally go ahead and add in ads, and some days we'll turn ads off. That is it. That is all we're doing. This takes me 10 to 15 minutes to do per day. Boom. So now we have what's called this structure, all right? So what do you fill up your time from, here to here, and we're focusing on scaling like this, scaling, what do we fill up that time with, okay? So the first thing is creatives. Boom. Now, we're not talking about video versus photo, okay? We're talking about sophistication, awareness, and we're talking about desire, and we're talking about personas, right? Okay? Sophistication is going to be the biggest one, though. This is the one that's going to make you $1 million months. These are good, don't get me wrong, but if I had to choose one of them, it's sophistication. That's going to be the biggest one right there, okay? That's the one that just allows everything else to fall in place without you having to like really master these things. That's a big thing for me. Now, the easiest way to showcase sophistication is basically just, if there's a bunch of black cows in a pasture, boom, that's my cows, and you see a pink cow, you're gonna remember the pink cow, but you will not remember the black cows. Why? Because it stands out. So your objective here is that you need creatives that stand out. Boom. Okay. So my goal here is to look at the market, look at everyone's ads they're running. Boom, boom, boom. That's all their ads. And then for me, it's one thing to make us stand out. Boom. Now you can do this right here by a couple things. You can exaggerate the claim. So basically, like, instead of how to scale Facebook ads, how to scale Facebook ads to 30K days, how to scale Facebook ads to 100K days, how to scale Facebook ads overnight, I'm just exaggerating the claim. Now, the next one is a new mechanism, which you're basically just offering a whole new way to achieve a particular result. If someone wants to scale Facebook ads and they keep failing at scaling Facebook ads, then me saying something like new viral AI UGC scales Facebook ads, then it's like, oh, I want to know what this is. I never tried viral AI UGC, so let me go get this because it gives me a sense of new hope to be able to achieve that particular result right there. Now, lastly, the last one is called persona, right? I like to call this just identity marketing. Here, it's if we have a big niche of people, instead of us trying to go after this whole thing, we're going to go after a smaller one. But the difference is we will own this smaller one versus just getting completely blasted on this because everyone's right here. Long story short, we're just looking for a sub niche. So instead of saying how to scale Facebook ads for high ticket e-com stores, proven scaling structure for high ticket e-com stores. High ticket e-com does 30K to 100K a day with Facebook ads. Why am I only specifically talking about high ticket e-com? Because it's a smaller sub niche within a larger niche. This way we can separate ourselves from everyone else and only appeal to a sub niche and scale really hard in that particular niche right there. So before you start looking at, photo versus video, you want to start looking at these things first, right? And this is the cool thing about this is because when you stand out from the competition, this is how you fucking rocket ship up with your ads. But if you're doing the same thing as everyone else, you're stuck right here. Minimal 10% gain, whereas right here, you're doing 100% month over month growth, right? And that's because you're standing out from the competition and you're really just fucking blowing past everyone else. And that's the key with market sophistication right there. Now, the reason why I don't worry about awareness, desire, and personas right here is because this sophistication is going to create all that for me. If I'm looking at everyone's creatives and I'm just simply saying, okay, how can I do the same thing but change this one thing to be the purple cow or pink cow, then awareness I don't really care about because I'm just simply recreating their things but in a whole new way with one of these things. Now, to be fair, I'm not saying I don't use awareness, just being very clear there. All I'm saying here is that awareness is at this particular moment where I'm just focused on sophistication is not as important. With that being said, as I start to fill up this market and I want to increase the size of the market, this is where awareness then becomes really important right here. This is where, for me, I was stuck at, I think it was like 1K a day. And I was able to scale to 15K a day by just simply going from problem aware market to a unaware market, right? And so on. If you're at an aware market and you're scaling and struggling, then you need to go to a product aware. So I basically just want to move up the awareness stages as I start to spin more because it's going to unlock more people for me to scale into with market awareness and stuff like that. So market awareness is still important. Desire is also still very important and everything like that. Just in the beginning stages, if I want to scale fast, is just focusing on sophistication first and then start using the other ones as I start to scale and spin up more inside of the ad account and stuff like that. Now, same thing from a sophistication perspective, right? I think sophistication is going to be a super big important one. The next thing we want to look at is our offer, right? So for offer, if we have same thing here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 competitors, we want to be the purple cow. So our offer needs to, if this is the standard right here, our offer needs to be at least at the standard and then we need to improve it and move it right here to be a winner, right? Some of y'all, this is the standard, and y'all are all the way down right here, and then y'all are asking yourselves, why can't y'all scale? So first you need to be at the standard, and then you improve it to become a winner. That's how you have to look at it. Now, from an offer perspective, right? This is where there's a couple things here. Number one, I never want to be the cheapest, okay? This is just a fucking race to the bottom. Some of y'all are so obsessed with buy one, get 5 for free. I'm like, how are you making any money? Like, it's clear to me you're doing no shit. So for here, from an offer perspective, we never want to be the cheapest. You either make money at being the cheapest or you make money at being the most expensive. And if you want to make profits, you be the most expensive. Yes, you'll make a lot of money at being the cheapest, but you will make no profits. And you are one business mistake from destroying your fucking business. I got a buddy, he does $100 million a year in revenue. He just had a small little mistake in his business and it blew up the whole business. Why? Because he operates from the perspective of being the cheapest on the market. Being the cheapest means you have razor thin margins. Your margins are like this. This is your profit. Whereas for me, I want a fat, very thick margins right here. And how do I do that? By being the most expensive. I was watching a documentary the other day on like fast food restaurants and specifically like different restaurants and stuff with like various different profit margins and stuff. And one of the biggest ones in terms of, who had the best profit margins was Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Of all the different steakhouses, Ruth's Chris has one of the best profit margins. Guess how much they charge? They charge a lot of money for a good steak over there. Why? Because they can afford to, because they're being expensive, they're making more, but they're serving and have a great offer from there. So in this sense right here of not being the cheapest, you want to be more expensive. The next thing here, this is where it's going to come down to positioning of offer, right? Positioning of offer, there's a lot of things that go into this. This is going to go around the desire we go after. This is going to go around the persona we go after. This is going to go down to the value we give. This is going to go down to the branding as well. All of this comes into the offer. Now, for me, from the offer perspective, what a lot of people get wrong is that they think it's some bullshit like this. $10 off, 10% off, buy two, get one free. That is a no. Like, fuck no. That's not what we're offering here. An offer here is all the value people get in exchange for their dollar signs, the money. They give you money and they get value. Actually, it should be the other way around. They give you money, they get value, and it's a amazing win. Woo! Smiley face. Yay. Okay? I'm having a lot of fun with this thing. So for this, it's an exchange of value. What is value? That's the question. Because if you understand what value is, then you can understand how to put together an offer. All right. Value I like to look at here is transformation. That's what I want to look at. Okay. Transformation. Transformation is who do they become when they use your product. So become, I also like to look at this from the perspective of, benefits. You can also look at benefits and stuff like that. And then the other thing I like to look at is ease of use, okay? So a couple things here. Who do they become, right? So for example, just buying a regular random watch, you're just wearing a watch. When you buy a Rolex, you are buying and becoming this person of status. So it's worth the 10 to 15 to 20 grand you'll pay for like a baseline Rolex, The benefits, there's really no major benefits to it, right? But some of you guys, like let's say for example, you're selling a supplement, for example. Here's a supplement, boom. Versus here's a 90-day transformation, this program. Here's a supplement. Here's the PDFs of how to follow the program and everything. Here's even a support coach and stuff like that. Now you can sell that for $200 to $300 versus the $60 you originally could buy it for. So like that's a great example right there. Ease of use is just how easy is it to get? Boom. I remember when I was buying a new bed and like one place wanted like $4,500, another place wanted $5,500. I ended up paying the $5,500 place for the exact same bed because that place literally included white glove delivery and everything like that, to where like they could literally just drop it in my house, it'll be all ready to go. Whereas like the other place, yes, it was cheaper, but I had to go like pick it up the bed. I had to get like a truck and stuff like that to pick up the bed. I had to like actually get people to help me bring it up. Like it was just been a pain in the ass right there. So ease of use and how easy it is to get is also really good right there. If you give someone a really complicated program for a 90-day fat loss program with your supplement and it's extremely complicated, then that's not really a good offer right there. The other thing from this is that for ease of use is that if it's very hard to get, so hard to get in terms of like getting it delivered to your house, because most of y'all are e-com. And then the other thing is just essentially like actually using the thing. If it's very difficult, that's also another big problem right there. Now, next one, benefit side. We already went over that, but that's just like the benefits. And you need to talk about things people care about. Boom, okay? Like I see people that'll literally go and they'll find products with benefits that people just don't give a fuck about. They're not actively searching for it. It's just very, very like, right? Like I remember when I was selling the metal signs and we would just be like, we'll call out benefits about this offer and like the whole product page also had the benefits around the offer, where it was just like, yeah, hang it up on your wall. It looks good. That was about it. And like we were struggling $500, $1,000 a day to break past that. Then we switched over to, hey, give this to your wife. She'll love it. It makes an amazing gift for anniversary, birthdays, all of those good things. And just simply reframing the offer, changing the whole product page, changing our ad creatives, everything, going get creative specifically filmed for the offer in the sense of like us giving, guys giving it to their wives, or wives freaking out, reaction and all that good stuff right there. All of that right there immediately allowed us to scale to 10K a day, doing over 300K a month from, 25, 30K a month right there. So big difference in terms of the, performance wise by just simply changing the benefits around our offer right there and framing the benefits around things people actually give a fuck about. So this is all going to be important. We got our offer, we got our creative sides, and then the last thing we want to call out is what's called AOV. And I'm not going to go super crazy in AOV, but the biggest thing I want to look at is post purchase. Okay. A lot of people, it's like they add a cart, initiate checkout, purchase, and then like, there you go. That's it. They're done. They hit the wall. For me, it's like I go ahead and I like to add in what's called post purchase upsells right here. And I like to do an upsell and a downsell, okay? So like, let's just say, for example, the upsell, I always like to have a larger ticket for the upsell and then a smaller ticket for the downsell. And then like, I like to strip the value from upsell to downsell. So like the value right here might be 100 in terms of like just the perceived value and stuff. And then the value right here would be like $10, right? Or 10 points, okay? Now from here, I like to create, if it's an e-com store with a lot of products, I like to create bundles right here. And then I want to have something that basically a big bundle full of different products that help them achieve their desire better, okay? And then for the downsell, all I'm simply doing is just stripping the products and only having like maybe one or two, and then just at a lower cost, right? So like, let's say if I was like potty training a kid, I sell them on a potty training like plan. And then for the post-purchase upsell, then it'll be like, here's a potty training toilet, here's a potty training alarm clock, potty training something else. It's like a couple different products together that are very different products. And then I'm gonna downsell them by just removing those products and just having like one or two of those products in the lower cost bundle. Do not be the drop shipper that just sits there and takes the same fucking product upsells people on the product at like a 10% discount that they just bought, and then downsell them on the same fucking product for 50% off. Like, you are literally going nowhere. You want to focus on helping people in their current situation by offering them more different products to where it makes logical sense of, oh, I'm going to need that too. Oh, that's a great thing. I didn't even think about that. And that's how you increase your upsells and your downsells, by giving them further tools to help them achieve their desired states. That's the key thing there with that. Now, what's cool about this is that you get AOV right, you can spend more money on ads because now your margin is going to get fatter. That's what I like about it, okay? You get your offer right, you're also about to spend more money on ads because you'll have a higher CVR on that. And then you get your creatives right, you know, you're gonna have a lower CPC, and then now all of a sudden, you're really gonna be able to go ahead and achieve that big monstrous growth that you want in your store versus the meaningless like little 10% gains and stuff. Because this right here, these are the people that are like, oh, cost caps, oh, ABO, or oh, CBO, oh, you know, you need to do single ads versus ads full of ad sets. Like all of this bullshit that I see on Twitter and stuff like that. And it's just all crap, all right? It's all designed to sit there and distract you from what's the main focus point. A lot of these people all have their own unique mechanisms of, oh, if I sell people on believing that they need cost caps to scale, then guess what? They'll buy my course because now they believe that cost caps are needed to scale. Now I have a full course on cost caps and stuff. I'm giving you this content for free. I'm not even trying to sell y'all anything. Yes, you can purchase my mentorship below. Yes, you can purchase my agency below. The only difference here is that I'm giving y'all the mechanism and showing y'all the mechanism, whereas my mentorship is just simply where me and you hop on a call one-on-one, not a course, a monthly call of me and you. Yes, no one else, no other coach, just me and you monthly, one-on-one together, and going through your account and giving you specific feedback to your account versus a course that's just, here's a bunch of training lessons and you don't know what you need. Whereas a one-on-one call, I can give you tailored advice to your business. So that's the difference here. I'm giving y'all everything. I'm giving y'all the free content. I've always had the simple goal right here of outbeating any other course online, which is simply my YouTube channel. And then from there, you either have the option of getting on one-on-one calls with me or me running your Facebook ads because you're making so much money and you don't give a fuck anymore about running the ads yourself. And you're looking for someone that can actually go in there that can help you scale and stuff like that. So that's why a lot of these things exist right here, of these people bitching about on Twitter and constantly fighting each other in the comments and stuff like that. And it's all a huge fucking distraction. And guess what? I made so much more money when I started to focus on the things we talked about today. That's where I made all the money. Boom, boom, boom. Whereas when I was scaling like this, I was broke. Zero, big fucking zero like this. But I was following everyone's advice. ABO, CBO, cost caps, bid caps, blah, 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 blah. All that bullshit on Twitter or YouTube or Instagram, okay? So this is why if you really want to scale, these are the things you need to do in this video. I'm giving it to you. Then your option here now is you go do this yourself, or I run your ads for you because you're making so much money and you just want someone that's capable and focuses on the right things to make a fuckload more money too. Or you hop on one-on-one calls with me because you want to make sure that you're doing these things exactly like me that I show you on this video today. So links below for that. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of y'all day. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. My name's Nick Theriot, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.